These are the 5 stories in Femi Otedola's Making It Big that genuinely made me laugh. Story number 1 is the story of himself that he shared when trying to explain or give an example as to how rich kids tend to waste their parents' resources when they are working for the family business, right? So page 142, he goes, "It happened to me. I once took money meant for Impact Press salaries," so Impact Press was his father's printing press, "to a nightclub and sprayed the juju star Sir Shino Peters with the cash. I was overwhelmed with his praise singing and the propulsive upbeat music. I lost myself in the moment. Needless to say, I regretted it come payday." I literally put a smiley face. Story 2. So closely following, the whole story that I just shared, he was now talking about how that, okay, yeah, even though he doesn't believe that it's always a good idea to let family into your business, that he always makes an effort to spoil his children. But then he talks about all of that and then he just goes in and tells us, all of them owe me money. And I'm like, Daddy, why are you casting all your grown-up children? Like, no, I know they don't mind, but it was just funny. Like, we're reading the book and you just told us that, oh, your adult children owe you money. I'm like, Daddy. Now, the third story you might not find funny, but maybe it's the style of the writing that just made me visualize the whole thing and made me laugh. Again, there's an LOL right beside the paragraph, but I'll just read it so you hear it. So he goes, "I'd stopped wearing watches in 2016 because mobile phones, of course, have an ever-accurate clock. Meanwhile, my friends always struggled to adjust their sleeves, waving their hands when talking to you so you could see their status symbol watches. I did not need to gesticulate." When I said it was like I could visualize wealthy people wearing expensive watches and just, like doing all of this so that we could see their latest Rolex. And he's like, yeah, don't care. Don't do that anymore. Fourth story is on page 57. And this one, it was sad and it was funny, but he shared the story when he was trying to explain how that one of the mistakes he made while running his company Zenon was that a lot of the staff that he employed were recommended to him by friends and associates and family members and all of that. And he did not really do his due diligence while hiring those people. And so one of the people he hired, I'll just tell you the story he shared about the person that he regretted hiring. So he said, "One manager I hired came for the interview on a motorbike taxi. I did not do much due diligence before giving him the job because I respected the person who'd recommended him. A car came with the job, and shortly after that, I was looking out of my office window when he drove in. Someone opened the door for him, another held his jacket, and yet another person carried his bag. He strolled in majestically just 2 weeks into the job. That is what power or a twisted sense of it can do to people." I was like the entire scenario was like, you came in a bag 2 weeks later, you're already doing Lord of the Rings. I was weak. The fifth story that made me laugh was a story he shared about the time when the NNPC was no longer allocating diesel to his company Zanon, and then he realized that it was just because of some political meandering that had happened behind him. So he decided that he needed to go and see Mr. President, who was President Olusegun Obasanjo at the time. When he got there, Baba wasn't really spending time with people. Baba didn't even sit down to receive him. Baba just walked towards him. I was walking him out, like asking him questions, walking him towards the door. And he just immediately went. As I walked towards the door, I turned back, looked him straight in the eye and said, "Do you know General Muritala Mohammed died so you could lead? God took him out for you. God took Abiola out, took Shehu Musa Yaradua out, took Abacha out. All for you." What? He sat down, no longer in a hurry to dismiss me. I had gotten his attention and he decided to hear me out. This is the part that made me laugh. He said, "I cleared my throat as if I had a message from God to deliver and began to talk slowly and deliberately." I was like, nice one. Use psychology for even the president. So yeah, have you read Otedola's Making It Big? What lessons did you learn or what stories did you find interesting? Please share it with me in the comments.